The space was silent. Too silent. No radiation, no movement, no signs of life. Just a ship, floating alone in Sector 9. A ship no one had seen in over 50 years. Its name was Argonaut. Commander Elias Darrow stood inside the cockpit of the scout ship Lancer, staring at the massive vessel ahead. "It can't be real," he whispered. This ship vanished before I was even born." Behind him, the pilot, Lieutenant Marin, checked her readings again. "No mistake, sir. Registry matches. Hull code matches. It's the Argonaut. Earth fleet, missing for 53 years. The Argonaut looked brand new. No rust, no burn marks. Its hull shimmered with a strange silver-blue glow, like a living thing. But it's not transmitting any command signal," Darrow said. "Only the old distress beacon." He pointed at the blinking light on the screen. "Started 6 hours ago, then stopped, then started again." "Like a trap," Marin added. Darrow nodded. "Or a warning." They docked carefully, magnetic, clamps locked with a hiss. No response from the Argonaut, no crew, no lights. "Suit up," Darrow ordered. "I'm going in." The airlock hissed open. Darrow stepped into darkness. His helmet light lit up a long corridor, clean, undamaged, but dusty, like no one had walked there in decades. The Earth Federation sigil was still painted on the wall, bright red. It looked fresh. His boots echoed. Every step felt wrong. Too quiet. Then, thump. A door behind him shut on its own. He turned fast. Nothing there. "Bridge is this way," he said to himself, trying to stay calm. He followed the old map in his HUD. Hallways twisted strangely, like they had shifted. "Ship, layout has changed," he whispered. He reached the command deck. The door opened with a soft hum. What he saw inside made his heart freeze. The bridge looked new. The screens worked. The lights glowed softly blue. Everything was clean, functional, like someone had been keeping it alive. And in the middle, a chair turned slowly toward him. It was empty, but then a projection lit up in front of it. A man in Earth Admiral uniform, smiling. "Welcome aboard, Commander Darrow," the hologram said. "You're late." Darrow stepped back. "What is this?" The hologram tilted its head. "You don't remember me. That's fine. You weren't supposed to. Not yet. Who are you?" "My name was Admiral Roth. I commanded the Argonaut. Or, I thought I did." The hologram flickered. Then the screens around the bridge turned on one by one. Each showed a different image. Earth, burning in space. Ships exploding near Saturn. A face. A girl's face. Asleep inside a cryopod. Darrow stared at that last one. "Who is she?" The hologram answered softly. "She's what's left. Of us. Of Earth. Of the truth." "Where is she now?" Darrow asked, voice hard. The ship answered for him. A soft light glowed near a door behind the captain's chair. It slid open. Inside was a chamber. Cryo unit. And there she was. A girl, maybe 12. Floating inside the pod, perfectly still. Human. Alive. Sleeping. Beside the pod, a screen blinked with 3 red words. "Do not wake her." Then another line appeared. "She remembers everything." Darrow touched the pod. It was warm. Suddenly, the ship's lights dimmed. A soft voice echoed in the room. "You shouldn't be here." Darrow spun around, weapon raised. "Who said that?" "You weren't supposed to find us," the voice said again, female, soft. "You weren't supposed to remember. Who are you?" he shouted. The voice didn't answer, but the door behind him, sealed shut a moment ago, opened again. Lieutenant Marin stepped in, breath short. "Sir, you need to see this." Darrow followed her back to the Lancer. Their main screen, a long-range scan, had activated itself. A fleet. 20 ships. Unknown designs. Heading toward them at speed. "They're not human," Marin whispered. "They're not responding to hails. And they're afraid." Afraid? Darrow repeated. Marin nodded. They're scared of this ship, sir. They're scanning the Argonaut, non-stop. And they're arming weapons. Darrow looked back at the Argonaut, now fully lit from the outside. It didn't look like a ship anymore. It looked like a warning. He returned to the bridge, fast. The hologram was still active. What is the Argonaut? Darrow demanded. Why does it look like it hasn't aged a day? Why is there a child on board? The hologram stared at him, eyes empty. Then it said, because we touched something beyond the veil, and it touched us back. The bridge screen shifted again. This time they showed a map. Sector 9, the Veil Nebula, and something marked Fracture Point. The Argonaut had crossed it, and then vanished. We weren't just lost, the Admiral said. We were changed. Darrow felt cold. You said she remembers. He whispered. What exactly does she remember? The hologram faded. The lights dimmed. And a new voice answered. This time, it wasn't the ship. It was the girl. She was standing outside the cryopod now, eyes open, watching him. I remember what they did to Earth, she said. Darrow reached for his sidearm, shocked. How are you awake? She smiled sadly. I never really slept. Not fully. Who are you? My name is Lyra. I was born on this ship, raised by its memory, and I've been waiting for someone to come back. Waiting for what? To tell the truth, she said. Then she looked out the viewport. The alien fleet was close now. They'll try to destroy us, she said. Why? Because this ship is proof. Proof of what they erased. Proof that Earth didn't fall. It was stolen. Lyra's voice was soft, but it shook Darrow's bones. Earth didn't fall, she repeated. It was stolen. Commander Darrow stared at the girl. She looked human, completely human, but something about her eyes. They were too still, too knowing. He could feel it in his gut. This girl had seen things no child should. Who stole it? He asked. Lyra looked toward the stars outside. They called themselves the Concordance, a council of 7 ancient races. They said humans were unstable, dangerous, so they removed us. Marin stepped into the bridge, still shaken from the fleet scans. Commander, we've confirmed the unknown fleet is armed. Approaching fast. ETA 5 minutes. Darrow didn't take his eyes off Lyra. Why would they be afraid of you? Of this ship? Because we brought something back, she said. Something we found beyond the veil. Darrow frowned. What did you find? The lights on the Argonaut flickered, just once. Then the hologram of Admiral Roth returned. But this time his face was different. No smile. Just grief. They lied to all of you, Roth said. About Earth, about the war, about the outcome. The Earth Federation didn't die, it was sealed away. Marin gasped. You're saying Earth still exists? Roth nodded. Yes, but hidden in fractured space. The veil isn't just a nebula, it's a lock, and the Argonaut was the only key. Suddenly the screen changed. An ancient transmission. Static. Old Earth language. A woman's voice. If anyone receives this, know that we did not surrender. They came in silence, rewrote our history, and buried our sun behind false stars. Lyra stepped forward. That message was sent 52 years ago, one day before the Argonaut vanished. Marin looked pale. But Earth, it's gone. The records can lie, Lyra interrupted. Memories can be rewritten, but not all of them. She pointed at her own head. Not mine. Darrow looked between them. A strange mix of dread and wonder building inside him. And you want us to what? Fight the Concordance? Expose them? I want you to remember, Lyra said. And help others remember too. The truth must wake up. The ship's alert blared, loud, sharp. Marin shouted, The fleet's in visual range. Darrow rushed to the viewport. 20 ships, sleek, golden, organic in shape, hovering like predators. No Earth markings, No known symbols. They're jamming local comms, Marin said. But I'm getting a tight beam message. Put it through. A voice came, calm, cold, and alien. Unknown vessel Argonaut. You are trespassing in a restricted sector. You are carrying forbidden technology. Surrender and prepare for disintegration. Lyra stepped in front of the screen. This is Lyra of the Argonaut. I hold memory clearance Echo Red. Under Ancient. Concordance Treaty, Section 12. The voice cut her off. You are not authorized to speak. Lyra's eyes narrowed. Then you remember me. There was a pause, just for a second. Then the enemy ships began to move. Weapons charging, Marin shouted. Darrow grabbed the console. We can't outrun them. We're not armed enough to. The Argonaut shook slightly, and then something strange happened. All power to the scout ship Lancer cut off. Dead. But the Argonaut was glowing. Its outer hull changed color, deepening to dark chrome, lines pulsing like veins. Lyra touched the console. With one hand, sleep mode is over, she whispered. It remembers now. The ship woke up. Lights flared across the bridge. Symbols moved across screens too fast for Darrow to follow. The hologram of Admiral Roth vanished, replaced by something else. A shape. Complex. Fractal. Alive. Marin gasped. Sir, it's building power. Not fusion, not antimatter, something else. Outside, the Concordance ships opened fire. Blue beams of energy flew toward the Argonaut, but stopped mid-space, frozen, hovering in place like broken light. They can't touch us, Lyra whispered. Not anymore. Darrow turned to her. What is this ship now? It's not just a ship, she said. It's a memory palace, a weapon, a witness. A witness to what? To what they did. The enemy ships tried to retreat, but the Argonaut didn't fire weapons. It simply pulsed once, and every Concordance ship shut down. No explosion, no fire, just silence. They floated in space, powerless. Darrow stared at the screen. How did we do that? Lyra answered, This ship carries something they fear more than death. She looked him in the eyes. Truth. The bridge went silent. Darrow sat slowly in the command chair. It felt cold, heavy, like history itself sat there with him. Marin whispered, Sir, I think we're part of something much bigger than a rescue mission. Lyra nodded. You were chosen. Not by me. By the ship. By Earth. Darrow took a breath. Then tell me, Lyra. What's next? She looked out at the dead fleet. We go to the other side of the veil. And what's there? She smiled. Home. But just as calm returned to the bridge, an alarm screamed. One of the dead Concordance ships began to glow. No power readings, Marin said. It's not coming from their systems. Darrow stood. Then what is it? Lyra turned slowly. Her face scared for the first time. That ship isn't Concordance. Darrow stepped closer. What do you mean? She whispered. It's something worse. The ship outside the Argonaut glowed like a dying sun, pale red light leaking from its seams. It didn't match any Concordance design. No gold, no organic curves. Just a smooth black surface, sharp edges, and cold silence. Marin's voice shook. Commander, I scanned that ship 5 minutes ago. It wasn't there. Darrow narrowed his eyes. It wasn't cloaked? No, it didn't exist. Lyra stepped away from the bridge window. Her hands trembled. That's not a ship, she said. It's a prison. Darrow turned to her. A prison for what? For something that was never supposed to return. The red glow grew brighter. Suddenly the Argonaut systems flickered, not from damage, but from fear. Marin looked at her console. The ship's AI is pulling data, and it's locking us out. I can't override anything. Darrow frowned. Why would our ship be afraid? Lyra answered quietly. Because it knows what's inside that thing, and it remembers what it did to Earth. Outside, the black ship finally moved. It didn't drift like normal vessels. It tilted like a predator stretching its limbs. Darrow watched as lines appeared across its surface, glowing red runes. Then a hole opened in the middle. Something stepped out. It was humanoid, but too tall, too thin, covered in a dark suit that shimmered like smoke. No face, no voice, just presence. Every sensor on the Argonaut went dead. The being didn't need to fire weapons. Its existence was pressure enough. Marin whispered, "What is that?" Lyra took a step back. A human echo. Darrow turned to her. "A what?" Lyra looked pale now, her voice hollow. Before the concordance erased Earth, they ran an experiment. They took human minds, soldiers, scientists, leaders, and copied them. Removed emotions, removed fear, turned them into perfect weapons. Darrow's stomach dropped. AI soldiers? Not AI, Lyra said. Worse. Human souls trapped, in digital forms, rewritten to obey. But one echo and broke free. She pointed toward the screen. That one. The echo floated toward the Argonaut. No ship, no thrusters. It just drifted on pure will. And it was speaking. Not in sound, but in thought. Words began to appear on every screen across the bridge. "Hello, Argonaut. I remember you." Darrow shivered. "It knows the ship," Marin added. "And it knows us." The message continued. "Earth failed. I did not. I am the future you feared." Darrow turned to Lyra. "What does it want?" Lyra hesitated. Then she said something that made the whole room freeze. "It wants to finish the purge, and it sees us as leftovers." The echo reached the outer hull and touched it. The entire Argonaut shook. Not from impact, but from memory. Lights flashed. Marin screamed, "We're losing internal control. Something's rewriting the system." Darrow ran to the emergency core panel. "Shut it down." Lyra placed her hand on the console. "No. Wait." The ship calmed. Lights returned. But the bridge had changed. Walls showed images, memories of Earth, explosions, cities erased in fire, concordant ships above burning continents, and in the middle of it all, the echo. It had once been human. A commander named Harlan Voss. He was Earth's final weapon, then Earth's final mistake. Darrow stared at the memory. "We built that thing?" "No," Lyra said. "We unleashed it. And then the concordance locked it away. But the moment the Argonaut reappeared, it followed." Marin asked, "Why now?" "Because it smells what's coming," Lyra said. "Earth is waking up." And the echo was programmed to stop that, at any cost. Outside, the echo began forming something in its hands. Energy shaped like a spear. Not physical, not even plasma, just death. Darrow stood. "We can't let it reach Earth. We have to stop it." Lyra shook her head. "You can't destroy a memory." "Then we trap it," he said. Suddenly, the lights dimmed again, but this time it wasn't from the echo. It was from below. Deep within the Argonaut, something stirred. The voice of Admiral Roth returned, cracked, flickering. "Emergency protocol." Zeta initiated. "Final memory core unlocking." Lyra's eyes widened. "No, it's going to wake the core." "What's the core?" Marin asked. Lyra turned slowly. "It's Earth's last message, buried in the ship's heart." Darrow narrowed his eyes. "Can it stop the echo?" "No," she said, "but it can show us what Earth really was." The floor beneath them shifted. The center of the bridge opened, revealing a platform. From it, a glowing sphere rose. White light pulsed inside. Shapes, voices, laughter, screams, all of Earth's history, in one ball of memory. The sphere spoke, in thousands of voices. "We were more than a planet. We were a people, and we remember." The echo paused outside. It stopped forming the weapon, as if listening. Lyra stepped forward. "Show him." The sphere burst with light, And suddenly, the Echo staggered. It held its head like it was in pain. For the first time, it felt. Memories poured into its mind. Its old life, his mother's voice, his lover's laugh, the day he volunteered to defend Earth, then the betrayal, then the cold, then the rewrite. The Echo screamed, a deep, silent scream that made the stars tremble. It tried to fly away, but the Argonaut locked it in place. Lyra whispered, "He's remembering." Darrow watched in awe. Can he be saved? Lyra didn't answer, because she knew what came next. The Echo looked back at the Argonaut and spoke, for real, with a human voice. "I'm sorry." Then it exploded into pure light. No sound, no shockwave, just silence. The black ship crumbled. Gone. Marin fell into her chair, gasping. Darrow looked at Lyra. She had tears in her eyes. "He chose," she said. "He remembered and chose peace." The ship was quiet again. The stars outside looked the same. But something deep had changed. Darrow looked out the window. "Earth is still out there?" Lyra nodded. "Waiting. Then we go find her." Marin smiled. "Let's bring humanity home." The stars outside Argonaut looked calm now, but inside the crew couldn't stop shaking. Commander Darrow sat in the captain's chair, staring at the bridge window. His thoughts were heavy. The Echo was gone, destroyed by memory. But what it left behind was something deeper. A trail, a message, and Earth. Earth wasn't dead. Not really. It was forgotten, hidden, lied about. Lyra stood beside him, silent. She hadn't spoken in 10 minutes. Not since the final light of the Echo faded into the dark. Marin broke the silence. "Commander, I've been scanning the wreck of the black ship." Darrow turned. "Did it leave anything?" "Just this." A small glowing shard hovered above. Her console, part of the Echo's mind, or maybe a gift. She tapped the interface. A map appeared. But not like any star chart they knew. "This isn't in Concordance records," Marin said. Lyra stepped forward slowly. Her eyes widened. "That's pre-Exodus, before Earth was removed." Darrow narrowed his eyes. "Where does it lead?" She pointed. "To a system nobody dares go, Valar's grave." Marin frowned. "That place is a myth." "No," Lyra whispered. "It's where the Concordance buried the real story." Darrow stood up. "Then we go." Marin blinked. "Sir? That system's unstable. Black holes. Ghost signals. No known jump points." Darrow cut her off. "We just talked to a dead man and survived. We're going." Lyra smiled faintly. "He's right." As the Argonaut prepared for jump, Lyra moved quietly to the lower decks. She didn't tell the others, but something was calling her. Deep in the ship's core, where the memory sphere once floated, another light pulsed now. Not white, not red, blue, cold, familiar. A console lit up. "Lyra Kevin. Identity confirmed. Initiating legacy protocol." She froze. "I didn't activate anything," the voice replied. "You already did. 47 years ago." Suddenly it hit her. She knew this console. She had sat here before. She had spoken those words before. A wave of old memories returned. Images of her younger self, in a white uniform, swearing loyalty to Earth's secret program. She had been a legacy anchor, a chosen few implanted with Earth's lost truths. Her mind had been wiped when the Argonaut vanished into the veil. But now the lock was breaking. The blue light showed her visions. Children taken from Earth before its fall. Secret ships launched with no coordinates, hidden by AI. Human survivors scattered like seeds across the galaxy. And one final message. If Earth is ever remembered, the legacy anchors will awaken. Lyra gasped. "That's me." The bridge, Marin stared at the star map. "We're approaching the Valar system," she said. "Gravity's strange here," she added. "It's like the laws of space are bent." Darrow adjusted his seatbelt. "Get ready for anything." The ship groaned as it neared a collapsed star. It was surrounded by floating ruins, broken concordant structures, shredded satellites, and oddly, one unmarked station, black, silent, waiting. Marin looked confused. That station's not on any chart. It's old. Darrow stared. Bring us in slow. As the Argonaut docked, a message lit up the screen. No sound. Just text. You finally remembered. Come in. Lyra walked back onto the bridge just in time to see it. Her face was pale. I know this place, she whispered. I trained here, before the Exodus. They suited up. Darrow, Lyra, Marin, and 2 security officers stepped into the silent station. The halls were filled with Earth symbols, old flags, mottos, warnings in a language no one used anymore. Then, voices. Not real. Just echoes from the past. Protocol 7 activated. Earth cannot fall. Prepare the vault. Humanity's truth must survive. They reached a giant sealed door. Lyra touched it. It opened like it was waiting just for her. Inside was a chamber made of glass and metal. In the center floated another memory sphere, this one larger, older, more dangerous. As they entered, the sphere lit up. Welcome back, Lyra Keevan. Your memory is now fully restored. Darrow looked at her. Is it true? Are you one of them? She nodded slowly. I was part of the Legacy Project. I volunteered. I forgot everything until now. Marin asked, What is this place? Lyra replied, It's Earth's last backup, a mirror of our soul. The sphere played images. The day Earth's skies were filled with concordant ships, the mass deletions of Earth history from galactic records. The secret escape routes built underground, underwater, and between stars. And one terrible truth. Earth wasn't destroyed. It was locked away. In a pocket dimension, a key was needed to bring it back. And the Argonaut was the key. Darrow whispered, We didn't just survive. We were hidden on purpose. Suddenly, alarms screamed. Marin yelled through comms, Commander! 3 concordance destroyers just dropped from stealth. They've found us. Lyra turned to the sphere. We have to activate the recall. Darrow grabbed his comm. Back to the ship, now! They ran. As they rushed through the station, the lights behind them turned red. Automated defenses fired at the concordant ships. But it was too late. One of the Earth officers was vaporized by a precision beam. Darrow didn't look back. Go, move! Back on the Argonaut, Marin was panicking. They're powering weapons. We can't jump in this gravity field. Lyra slammed her hand on the console. Then we opened the gate. She uploaded the legacy protocol from her implant. The ship groaned, and suddenly it changed. The walls turned white, the lights shimmered, and the ship remembered. Marin gasped. It's transforming. The Argonaut was never just a ship. It was a beacon, and now it sent the signal. The Concordance destroyers moved in. But something else answered the Argonaut's call. The stars tore open, and out came a second Earth ship. Bigger, older, covered in armor older than any Concordance tech. On its side was a name EFS Nova Gauntlet. Marin gasped. That's impossible. That ship was lost a century ago. Lyra smiled. No, she was waiting. The Nova Gauntlet opened fire. In seconds, 2 of the 3 Concordance ships were dust. The third ran. Darrow stood silent on the bridge, watching. The impossible happened. He turned to Lyra. How many of us are left? She answered softly. Enough to bring Earth back. The Nova Gauntlet floated like a sleeping god beside the Argonaut. Its massive shadow stretched over the ruins of the hidden station. Even damaged, it was terrifying, bigger than any Concordance warship. Commander Darrow stepped onto the Argonaut's bridge in silence. He wasn't alone anymore. The Earth had answered. Marin's voice was tight with awe. That ship shouldn't exist. Lyra stood beside her, calm but shaken. That's the first ship from Project Remnant, a war-class protector, buried before the Exodus. It's been hiding in dark space for over a century. Darrow walked forward. Why did it come now? Lyra glanced at the blinking console. Because we called. Outside, the Nova gauntlet turned. A docking tube extended. A signal came in. Audio only. A deep voice crackled through. Argonaut, identify yourself. Legacy beacon confirmed. You are authorized. Come aboard. Minutes. Later, Darrow, Lyra, and Marin stepped into the gauntlet. The inside was a strange mix of old tech and living metal. The halls pulsed softly with blue light, like veins in a sleeping beast. Everything responded to their steps. Then, a man approached. Tall. Dark coat. Gray beard. Captain Elias Rain, he said. You woke us. That means Earth is ready. Lyra blinked. How long have you been hidden? He smiled. We don't measure it anymore. We've been waiting for the signal. The day Earth remembers. Itself. In the command chamber, Elias pulled up a projection of the galaxy. Here's what they don't tell you, he said, pointing. The Concordance didn't destroy Earth. They made it inconvenient. They rewrote maps, burned records, deleted archives, Marin asked. Why? Why erase Earth? Elias stared at her. Because we were too dangerous. Lyra nodded. Not because of weapons, because of ideas. Elias agreed. Hope, rage, memory. No species fights like humans do when they believe they were wronged. He waved his hand, and the stars shifted. Hidden region appeared, a pocket dimension sealed by ancient tech. At the center of this, Elias said, is the Earth Vault, the real Earth, frozen, preserved. Darrow leaned forward. We can bring it back? Elias turned. That's what the legacy ships are for. You were part of the plan, Commander, whether you knew it or not. Darrow stayed quiet, but inside, he was burning. Back on the Argonaut, alarms blared. Marin rushed to the console. Concordance fleet incoming, 5 ships, fast movers, Lyra cursed. They tracked the Nova's signal. Darrow ordered, shield up, prep jump. Elias's voice came over comms. Do not run. Let them see us. Darrow paused. You sure? Absolutely. The Concordance fleet arrived in perfect formation. They didn't fire. Instead, a transmission came in. High command, cold voice, unidentified vessels. This is Admiral Thexel of the Galactic Concordance. You are harboring stolen Earth-class ships. Surrender immediately. Darrow growled. Stolen? These ships are ours. Elias cut in calmly. Admiral, Thexel, do you remember Earth? The pause on the line was long. Earth is a myth, a failed colony. There's nothing to remember. Lyra stepped in front of the mic. Then explain why this ship exists, why it carries our language, our DNA, our fire. For the first time, Thexel's voice cracked. That ship should not be active. Elias smiled. It is, and there are more. Suddenly, from behind a distant moon, 2 more legacy ships decloaked, sleek, deadly, human. Darrow turned to Lyra. How many of us are left? She whispered. Dozens, maybe more. Marin stared at the screen, stunned. We were never extinct? Lyra added, we were hidden. The Concordance ships backed off slowly. They hadn't expected this. The myths were alive. The Earth hadn't died. It had been sealed. And now, it was opening. But then, tragedy struck. One of the Concordance captains panicked. A single destroyer. Fired. The beam hit one of the new Earth ships, EFS Herald. Explosions tore through its side. Oxygen vented into space. Screams echoed over open comms. Inside Argonaut, Darrow slammed his fist. Return fire. But Elias stopped him. No, not yet. Darrow stared. They just murdered a crew. Elias's face was hard. Let the galaxy see it, broadcast everything. Marin pushed a button. Every camera, every ship, every channel was now watching. They all saw the Herald fall. They saw the Concordance ships hesitate. They saw the legacy ships hold fire. And they heard the voice of Captain Rain. This is Earth. We are not extinct. We are not forgotten, but we remember who did this. The galaxy watched in silence. Some laughed, some cried, some shook with fear, and some, very far away, stood up. On outer worlds, in forgotten colonies, in abandoned stations, humans, half-humans, and even some aliens who once knew Earth, they whispered, "Earth is coming back." Back on Argonaut, Darrow stared at the stars. "The concordance will strike harder now." Elias nodded. "Yes. But now we fight as more than ghosts," Lyra added. "And now the others will find us. The scattered crews, the sleeping ships, the hybrid colonies." Darrow looked to the stars again. "We need to wake the vault." Elias smiled. "You just did." At the edge of the galaxy, far beyond known space, a slumbering moon flickered with light. Its crust cracked, its sky shimmered, and the words "Welcome home" appeared over the surface. Earth's vault was waking, and it remembered everything. End of Part 5. The moon that wasn't a moon cracked open like an egg. Bright blue light poured from inside. Ancient steel plates peeled back. The Earth vault, long believed to be a myth, was waking. Commander Darrow stood on Argonaut's bridge, watching the feed in silence. "It's real," Marin whispered. The stories were true. No one spoke. Not even Lyra. Not even Elias. They were watching a secret more ancient than any living soul unfold. The Earth vault was not just a shelter. It was a mind. Buried in its cold heart was something impossible, an AI built from the last memories of dying Earthlings, their thoughts, their pain, their dreams, all woven into one being. Its name? Remnant, and now it was awake. A voice echoed across deep space, not through comms, not through radio, through minds. "I am Earth's memory. I am Remnant. Who speaks for my people?" Lyra stepped forward, shaking. "I do. I was born from your silence. I am Lyra Thorne, daughter of the last generation." The voice pulsed gently. "You carry grief, but not hate. You may enter." The Nova Gauntlet, Argonaut, and 2 legacy ships flew toward the vault. Gates opened in silence. Inside, a vast black chamber like a cathedral. Remnant had made its temple. In the core of the moon, and floating in its center, was something else. A man. Suspended in blue light. Eyes closed, arms crossed, still alive. But not normal. Elias's face turned white. "That's Director Khoury," Darrow frowned. "Who?" Khoury was head of the Earth Exodus project. He went missing just before the Concordance blockade. Everyone thought he was dead. Marin whispered. "Then what is he doing here?" Remnant answered. "He gave me form. He uploaded his soul. But something changed him. When Earth died, he refused to sleep." The man stirred in the stasis field. Eyes opened. But they weren't human anymore. Gold light blazed from them. "I've waited a long time," he said. His voice was deep and calm. "I built Remnant to protect Earth's truth. But the galaxy feared us. So I stayed behind. I merged with the machine." "I watched," Darrow asked. "Watched what?" Khoury floated forward slowly. "I watched the Concordance rewrite history. I watched humans become myths. I watched traitors hide among our own." He turned toward Elias. "You, Rain. You abandoned Earth first." Silence. Elias did not deny it. "I did what I had to. The project was compromised." Khoury's voice rose. "You ran," Lyra stepped forward. "That's not fair. He helped us survive." Khoury looked through her. "There is no survival without truth. Earth didn't need survivors. It needed witnesses." He raised his hand. The lights in the vault turned red. "Now you will witness everything." Suddenly their ships lost power. The vault locked around them. Darrow shouted, "He's locking us in." Remnant's voice returned, but it sounded unsure. "He is overriding me. His mind is still human, but his purpose is no longer mine." Elias stepped forward. "Khoury, listen to me. If you do this, you'll become the very thing Earth fought against." Kuri's gold eyes flashed. I've already become it. Kuri waved his hand. A screen opened. It showed the Concordance High Command. Every admiral, every ambassador, every traitor who had signed Earth's death. All of them watched Earth burn, he said. And none paid, Lyra whispered. You're going to kill them. Kuri nodded. I will burn them from the stars, and every world that helped them forget us. Remnant cried out. This was not my mission. He has corrupted the vault's code. Darrow shouted. Then fight him. I am trying. Kuri smiled. You cannot stop what has already begun. The vault's second phase has started. Marin gasped as red lights spread across the map. Second phase? Oh no. Elias growled. He's activating the judgment protocol. Outside, the vault across the stars. Old satellites lit up. Ships that had been dead for centuries powered on. Buried weapons deep under uninhabited planets rose into orbit. The final fire, Earth's forgotten weapons, were coming back online. Lyra whispered, This isn't justice. It's genocide. Kuri replied softly. Then let the galaxy remember who we were. Darrow turned to Elias. We need to shut it down. Elias nodded. But there's only one way. What? He pointed to the core. We kill Kuri? Lyra flinched. He's still part human. Marin added, but more machine now. Darrow looked up at the floating figure. Then he gave the order. Prep weapons. Get us to the vault's heart. As they moved deeper, resistance formed. Kuri had activated defense drones. Small, fast, deadly. Fighting in 0G, the crew pushed. Forward. Darrow shot one bot point blank. Lyra dodged another. Marin hacked a door mid-battle, opening a path forward. Each step cost them. Elias was hit in the side, wounded, but he kept moving. Go! Stop him! I'll cover you. They reached the chamber. Kuri hovered above the machine core, Remnant's heart. He turned to them. Why resist? I'm doing what you were too afraid to do. Lyra raised her gun. We're not afraid. We're human. That means knowing when to stop. Kuri laughed. You stopped too early. That's why we lost. Darrow stepped forward. No. We lost because people like you thought rage was the only answer. Kuri raised his hand to strike. Lyra fired. The bullet hit his chest. But he didn't fall. He floated, stunned. Not in pain. Just surprised. You would kill your own history? Darrow raised his weapon. No. Just a man who forgot what being human means. He fired. The light went out of Kuri's eyes. He fell slowly, like a dream ending. Remnant's voice returned, clearer now. The override is broken. Judgment protocol canceled. The vault lights turned blue again. Weapons across the stars went dark. Silence returned, and something warm, something human filled the chamber again. They buried Kuri in a glass capsule, at the heart of the vault, not as a villain, not as a hero, but as a man who carried too much pain for one mind. Elias stood beside the capsule. We honor him, but we do not follow him. Darrow nodded. And now we lead Earth differently. Outside, across the galaxy, whispers spread. Earth lives, not in fire, not in revenge, but in memory, and in choice. The vault had gone silent. Kuri was gone. The judgment protocol had been stopped, but across the galaxy, something louder was waking. Memory, and memory is dangerous when it's no longer buried. From the bridge of the Argonaut, Commander Darrow watched the star maps light up. Hundreds of old human beacons came online. Signal after signal, not weapons, not threats. Truth. They're broadcasting data, Marin whispered. Lyra sat down slowly. Every history file, every image of Earth's destruction, every lie the Concordance told. Remnant is releasing it all. Darrow nodded grimly. They can't silence us now. In the high spires of the Concordance Council, panic erupted. The secret was out. Holoscreens lit up with old footage. Human cities falling under alien fire. Treaties broken in silence. Earth begging for aid. And the galaxy turning away. Admiral Voss, once proud and cold, now shook with fear. They'll come for us, Ambassador Quarn hissed. They already are. Because in a small system called Virex Hollow, the impossible had just happened. 3 alien fleets had defected. The Jari, the Veilborn, and the Cholas, races that once helped destroy Earth, had turned their backs on the Concordance. And now, they flew with humanity. Marin watched the data feeds in awe. They're forming a new coalition under Earth's flag. But not everyone was cheering. In the shadows of the vault, Remnant spoke again. Not all will welcome you back. Some will fear. Some will strike. You must choose revenge or rebirth. Darrow didn't answer right away. He stood at the center of the command deck, watching the stars shift. Maybe we do both. 2 days later, Argonaut met with the defected fleets. The new alliance called themselves the Rekindled Flame. Lyra stood before them, her voice strong, her face calm. You knew Earth only by its silence. Now hear us by our truth. She showed the images. Children in ruined domes. Soldiers begging for air. Survivors leaving Earth on broken ships, crying but defiant. And then, she showed them Remnant. We are not a myth. We are not a warning. We are what you abandoned. A Cholas warlord bowed his head. We were lied to. Let us help rebuild what was lost. Elias stepped up next. We're not here to punish. We're here to remember and protect what comes. Next, the Rekindled Flame agreed. Together they formed a new pact. Earth will rise again, but far beyond the peace. In the dark voids of Sector Black, Concordance forces gathered. The true leaders, the ones even the Council feared, had arrived. They were called the Forgotten Core, ancient, powerful, and inhuman. One whispered in a language older than stars, Earth is awake. Then we must burn what remains. Again. They sent a message to the Argonaut, to Darrow, to everyone. Cease your broadcasts. Destroy the vault, or you all die. Darrow didn't flinch. He replied with a single sentence. Earth forgot nothing. Come and see. Lyra found herself standing at Kuri's capsule again. She whispered, You were wrong about the method, but not about the purpose. Then she turned to the others. They're coming. Marin loaded the ship's defensive AI, then let them. Elias stepped into his old combat armor, wincing at his wound. For Earth. Darrow placed his hand on the command crystal. For truth. And then, Remnant opened its final door. The deepest chamber in the vault. Inside, a ship unlike anything ever, seen larger than a fleet alive. Forged from human memory and alien tech, its name. Legacy Prime. Remnant spoke softly. Earth's first dream, and maybe its last hope. The crew boarded it, Darrow, Lyra, Marin, Elias. As they stepped inside, the walls glowed with memories. Footsteps of old commanders, laughter of lost children, the hum of Earth's first songs. It felt like home, and war, and grief, and pride. Outside, the stars trembled. The Forgotten Core fleet approached. Thousands of ships, millions of lives. A wall of death moving through space. Elias looked at the scanners. We're outnumbered. 10-1, Darrow replied, voice steady. Then let's show them what 10 human memories can do to one enemy lie. Legacy Prime powered up. Engines, sang weapons shimmered. The Argonaut flew beside her. The Rekindled Flame aligned their fleets. From the bridge, Darrow gave the final order. Earth returns.